Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the shop. Uh-oh. Stream is making noises on other places. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. And had a excellent weekend. I had a very productive one. Personally, got to run some D&D unexpectedly. But it was fun nonetheless. It's cool if you've been, running D&D for a while and you can just make up stuff on the spot. It's not really making stuff up immediately as much as it is, I have done this before, and you have never seen it, so it's new to you. But anyway, aside from that, I probably worked too much. Well, I say worked too much. I animated too much. I spent a whole lot of time making some animations and making some pixel art that ends in like a 2-second, if that, kind of GIF. But it was fun either way. Animation is hard, y'all, and time-consuming. That's the big thing. It's time-consuming. But beyond that, it feels very rewarding to see the pictures move. I kind of wonder, I don't know how these skills necessarily translate to, specifically to non-pixel art animation. See, one of the things that is cool about pixel art in this specific sense is that I can definitely take an image and then make it move, and the second image, because the way animation works, is going to look as exact to the first one as I want it to. Because I'm in control of exactly where every single pixel goes. So it's really amazing to think about the idea of, if you watch like old cartoons, especially when people were sort of just getting started doing this, sometimes you can see the lines sort of bouncing left and right as the image moves from one place to another. But then artists eventually got skilled enough to where you don't see that, and it's a fluid motion from one place to another. Or if they're standing still, there isn't any, unnecessary squiggling, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of cool. With pixel art, that you don't have that problem though. It's really easy to, take the exact same image, copy it over, and put the pixels exactly where you want them. The harder part, I feel, is coming with making things not look like they're moving a single pixel by pixel. I've seen some really fluid animations, even in pixel art, just with the way they're made with, I guess, such skill that they don't look like they are the size they are. Like, that, I can see how big the pixels are supposed to look. That was definitely a movement that slowly filled in a pixel. But then I, have to look really, really close, and that totally is not what happened at all. It's just the way that it was animated and everything that's going on around it really had it, follow in pretty easily, so that it sort of tricks your eye into thinking that it's a very smooth motion. I'm not there yet, but I hope to be. It's a work in progress. I am a work in progress. I think it's inevitable that eventually I'm going to take my current avatar and alter them such that it can be more fluid and a bit more expressive. Because as it stands right now, I have 2 expressions. Hey, Third Active, welcome. And good morning to you. Welcome to the shop. How was your weekend? I was just talking about, I got to unexpectedly get some D&D in this weekend. Came in early today. Well, you are most welcome to do so. You weren't streaming earlier today. Are you streaming later? Sorry, I still haven't been able to catch a stream of yours live yet. But yeah, take a break from streaming for the rest of the month. That's fair. I was actually thinking about that myself. Kind of burnt out. I was thinking about that myself this past weekend, mostly because after Friday's stream, I spent just the entire rest of the day animating something. and now my hand hurts. Like, on stream, I had taken the time to set up alerts that would tell me, hey, stop, take a break from what you're doing, and, you know, stretch, do some hand stretches and stuff. I'm sure that'll pop up at any time. But anyway, when I'm not streaming and I don't have those constant reminders, I'll just work for 5 hours and not stop. So that's not good. Not good for my health. So I'm gonna have to. I almost canceled today's stream for that reason, because I'm like, I want to not have my hand get jacked up. I've seen lots of stories of people getting like either carpal tunnel or just wrist pain or hand pain from pixel art specifically, but art generally. But yeah, being burnt out is from what I understand, sort of a constant struggle with whether it's streaming or video producing, content creation, quote unquote, in general. And I think it can kind of ebb and flow too, because for me, I feel the same. I felt the same way. Like, some days I'll get up and I'm like, I don't know what to do today. I don't want to stream. I don't want to have to like put myself out there. But at the same time, other days I'll have it be like, I get out and I get up and I hit the go or hit the start streaming button, and I'm like, yeah, this is the thing I want to do, and I just don't want to stop. So you gotta kind of ride that wave sometimes. Ooh, with the improved slime sprite. I don't even have Discord open. Hang on. I should make a little window, especially in the shop here, just for showing off stuff. Oh yeah, he does like a little jelly bounce, kind of like a reminds me of Jello, like a pile of Jello, and he hits and spring. That's cool. So just a quick question, because I'm not sure how people would generally feel about this. Would you mind if I were to show some stuff on stream? Like, I feel like that might be a weird question, but like, if because I was thinking about it, if I get enough people to submit stuff, I could, review and or showcase stuff live on stream for other folks. And like, I don't know how other people would feel about me showing their art on my stream, especially considering like how heavily self-arted all of my stuff is. I would hate for somebody to come in and, assume that I did something that wasn't actually mine. It's fine with it, as long as it says, like, made by Third Act. Yeah, well, it would be like, it would be in the context of, we're doing a showcase, and this is who made this, and this is who made that, and, we'll talk about what's going on with it. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely want to give credit where credit is due. Also, I'm fighting this internal battle with myself of the fact that my little dancing sprite down at the bottom she's level with the bottom edge of the thing she's standing in, but when she jumps, she goes above the top edge of it, and that's bugging me a little bit. Like a box that says Community Showcase box. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I could do that. Definitely want to get people to opt in for that. Or get their permission before I just go grabbing stuff. And I don't know, I would want to be able to put everybody's name, like because you're talking about like a community showcase box, if I was actively talking about it, that would be cool, because it would be easy for me to say, hey, here's who did this. But like if I had like a scroll of that. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking about it, like, I was just thinking about some Critical Role stuff. I don't really watch Critical Role that much, but I know that they used to, at least, have a fan art showcase, but that's something that they would have had to put together manually, and so I could do that. I could put together a manual loop of stuff that, hey, here's something that, this person did, or that person did. What about, like, on the image it says a text, like scrolling image, the scrolling text. Yeah, I was kind of, I don't know why at first I was thinking something along in the vein of, here's just a random image pulled from all the different submissions that I've got. But if I took the time, I could just put everybody's name. Yeah, it would be moving, especially if it's an animation. I think the movement helps draw the eye to it, but I don't have any hard numbers on that, so maybe I'm wrong. to the sprite. That, I mean, that would be the easiest thing as far as, the easiest thing for me, I should say. If whoever was to submit their thing would, like, I don't know, watermark it technically, or sign it. But I know that can be difficult, especially in pixel art, if you're not exporting things huge. Because, like, writing something in the same size, it's like if I'm working in a pixel size, writing any kind of text in that size, it becomes real difficult. I just have an icon that I usually place. Yeah, so like I think that would work really well if you could. I don't know what I think. Yeah, did you say you use Procreate or something like that? So I don't know how other art programs do this, but I know in Sprite, like I could export a thing as a GIF at like 1000% size, go back in and open it up as the GIF, and it's a new Sprite file, and then I could put in a smaller image on top of that if I wanted to. Sprite and Krita. How does Krita work with pixel art? I haven't tried it. I have it. I mean, it's free, but what if I want bigger sprite and sprites for smaller ones? So does Krita let you make like animations? Do they have animation frames and that you can play back? Because I don't know why it never even occurred to me that was an option. Yeah, they do. It's pretty hidden. Yeah, it's meant to. As far from my understanding, Krita is like trying to compete with Photoshop. It's meant to be a draw a cool single image kind of program. So all of the tools for that are straight up front. I'll have to look into that. I've been wanting to get into more digital animation stuff generally, and if my current trend continues, I'm thinking that drawing cool stuff is fun, but like making that stuff move. That's where the really satisfying part of it is for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the canvas and start working on the stuff. Also, I thought about the game a lot. Oh, the game you're working on? Yeah, that's my transition. Also, if I hadn't mentioned it to you before, I made that. I learned how to use Blender over the course of a week, and made that. It took me like 15 to 20 hours worth of figuring stuff out. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I'm not sure that I'm super happy with it, given that I now have a super pixel art aesthetic. Alright, I'm going to ignore that particular alert just because I am just now getting started. Yeah, so I was watching, isn't Blender a 3D tool, or a 3D modeling tool? It is, actually, but also you can use it for video editing, and specifically I wanted to use it for transition creation. So basically you can set the camera wherever you want and make a video. So a lot of people will use that to showcase their 3D model doing a thing and moving. You can record actively just in the program. You can make a scene, but if you set the camera at the right angle and everything appears and disappears in the same kind of way, then it's pretty easy to actually make a screen filling transition in that particular way. And also, I've realized something else I need to do before I get started here. But yeah, it works surprisingly well. I think, anyway. I need to open up this one. So I originally had made these sprites based on the ones down here. And again, if you're not familiar, these are not mine. The yellow-haired girl is from Chrono Trigger. The red-haired girl is my interpretation using this as a reference for the style. But I made these originally just sort of as a standard walk animation, but her arms basically just move up and down, and I was confining her within these 2 blocks. So what I wanted to do when I made this one was to give her a bit more flow. So now she's got stuff that's bouncing outside of the frame of what she had, so it takes up twice as much space actually. But the effect is that it gives her a bit more of a bounce around her arms. I'm thinking about different types of puzzles, but it's very hard to make them since almost each one I make is either too difficult or too easy. Still struggling to make the first level. Yeah, puzzles are hard. I enjoy going through them a lot of the time, but like I've never tried to really make one with any kind of concerted effort, let alone enough for an entire game. I did see somebody asking on Twitter over the weekend if there's any Sprite, or not even Sprite, any good resources for puzzle making. I didn't really check out the thread because it wasn't on my radar, but trying to make a puzzle that isn't too obvious and one that is easy to solve. Yeah, and especially if you can make several that are relatively easy and ramp up in complexity. That way you have them and you can put them in that order in the game. Puzzles that give you do the, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah. Oh, so the hardest part is to make them fun to solve. Yeah, I got recommended a game that I played about a year ago, I think, called Helltaker. It's purely a puzzle game, and it sort of drunkenly staggers back and forth across that line of, to like really simple and easy to way too complex, at least for me, and I think everybody's going to approach that kind of thing a little bit different. But like, I would have I'm just gonna let that run. Like, 1, 2, 3 levels of the puzzle. I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty easy, I get this. And then I'd have one level and I'm like working on it for an hour and a half trying to figure it out. I have no idea what I'm doing. I did not look up any puzzles, which, and I was like staunchly determined not to, so I just banged my head against the wall trying to figure it out for a long time. Like, you can very easily make puzzles that work well but are not fun to solve and just boring or annoying. Yeah, I think that, like, the way you've described, or at least the way the animation that you've got for your game, for your character model looks, as long as moving is fun, like moving the character and interacting with the environment, if that's fun, I think that'll go a long way towards making the game itself fun, if that makes any sense. Like, even if the puzzle is relatively simple, if moving and solving the puzzle is fun, then that'll definitely help. Why can't I paste this? Oh, because I'm on the wrong layer, that's why. Oops. Alright. Copy. Yeah, that'll do. Part that I'm working on now is connecting wires and stuff, making particles and stuff. Yeah. So, like, what I'm thinking is, as long as, going from one particle or one spot to the next, like grabbing a wire and moving it, or however you have the game set up to work, as long as doing that is fun to watch within the engine or whatever, that should be that should go a long way to making the game entertaining. Okay, yeah, that's that. Crud, every time. I don't know, just give me this, just this. Does this fit in one? Looks like it does, actually. So that's fine. We'll just leave that way. Okay, I thought it went outside the bounds of the sprite. Apparently not. Apparently I was just completely mistaken. Currently coding a shader to make lighting work on sprites. Oof, okay. That'll mean I have to draw 2 sprites for each character. Oh, okay, the base one and the blue-white sprite that indicates how it reacts with light. Yeah, yeah. Also, one thing I'm working on is that the wires aren't only the source of power, but you can also move on them. So even if you know what to do, sometimes the thing might be out of reach, and you need to move a wire to a different location to get to the spot you need. So yeah, like you build your pathway to get where you want to go. It sounds like. That sounds really cool in concept, but like you say, it sounds like difficult to implement. Let me just copy this. There we go. Yeah, cool. We'll save that. Basically, yeah, but hella glitches. Because wire physics is hella complicated. Especially making the collision box. Yeah. I don't know nothing about that. But I can imagine, like, I've seen enough games to where, like, if you're trying to do a long, thin strand of something and give it physics, it's like you have to make 100 segments of something that all connect together and have, you know, interconnected dynamic physics. That sounds like a nightmare. So the wires aren't just a straight line. They fall down and have physics, yeah. Yeah. And, like, depending on how big the segments of each thing are, will determine sort of how good it looks when things actually have to move. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. These are basically the same, but I will go through and edit them. So something I noticed last time when I was working, I was looking at the sprite for reference, right? And I noticed these big, thick outlines here, but it's really, it didn't occur to me for the longest time that the outline here is used also as her shadow. It took me forever to figure that out. But like once you see this in motion, because like he goes from 2 here and then it slides up and then it's 1 and then it's up here. But like when it's in motion, you get it, right? That's her shadow of her foot moving behind her. And that took me forever to understand. Probably because I was animating it like in frame by frame and then putting it together. But that's a technique that I can definitely use in the future. Some of this stuff I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't remember animating that at all. I don't remember drawing that. How did that happen? YouTube tutorials have been no help because all of them just give the same deprecated function that doesn't work anymore. As far as like, you're talking about how to code the thing to function in the engine that you're using. The code that they're offering doesn't work that way, or at least doesn't work that way anymore. Means the function isn't supported. Oof. That seems odd. That they would just like completely remove support for a certain function. Like it's disabled. Well, if it's disabled, is there any way that you can, I don't know, re-enable it? Oh, I think I asked you this last time. What game engine are you working in? Okay, so this is fun. I'm seeing how her hair bounces up and then out. So I think if I'm gonna take this as my baseline, put her hair like so. Probably could fill this in a bit. Or rather, bring it back down some. This is going to be extra weird because I've got these long sleeves that are going to hide her hands anyway. Really what I need to do here is from about here down is what I need for what needs to change. So try to get a feel for how this is supposed to look. Unity, but using C++ because I hate C#, okay? They removed the better physics function, but why though? Is better physics a mod that somebody made, or was it, based part of Unity that they decided to remove? Because it sounds like if they decided to remove it, they would have been replacing it with something they thought was better, right? At least one would hope, one would think so. Because it caused massive lag spikes. Ah, but they removed it and then just never replaced it with anything. That seems odd. Alright, so I'm kind of on my own here, because she's got a tail in the way, and I can't really use that as a reference. So, we're going to try and make this work. We got the outline, at least, to work with. Hopefully this part's easy. Yeah, okay. An official statement by them is, just make it yourself. And now I need to program rope physics. Good grief. That's funny. I'm sorry. It's not like, it sounds awful, but it's funny that that's their response, is like, good luck. GG, have fun. Hope you can figure it out. That's rich. I need that. Oops, wrong one. Wrong color. Okay, so this is getting darker here. Go with this for now. No, that doesn't look right. I'm gonna have to sort of play around with this until it looks the way I think it should. Kind of feeling like this ought to be Okay, I can kind of use one of these other things as a reference. Specifically the one right next to it. Alright, so we've got kind of a long stretch of color here. Make that brighter. Okay, that's kind of working. Still remember, I was looking in the docs of Unity, saw a function. Function teleports an object to a certain coordinate you need to use, and the description says, I have no idea why, but someone hard-coded it so that if you enter GGG repeating as coordinates, the game will crash. Don't ask me why, I tried to remove it, but then the command failed to work. Documentation is pain. Or documentor in pain, yeah. That kind of reminds me, I was playing Elden Ring, and if you haven't played it, there's a message system that other players can leave messages in the world that you can encounter. And so I went up to a ledge, and I saw a message on the very end of the ledge, and you can put a gesture in. If you put down a message, you can have like a shadow image of your character making a gesture, and they had the facing away from the ledge, like back towards the way that you would have shown up, so facing you when you come up to it. They put their hands out to the side, and was like the hold on emotion. And the message was, don't try it. I did it. And so I was like, there's nothing down there. Don't jump off the edge of this ledge. I did. There's nothing there. So that's just reminded me, what you just said reminded me of that. That's funny. Let's leave that like that. Go ahead and grab this for fun. Well, no, because this leg is supposed to be further back. Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll put that out like that. That should be okay. Does that look like a foot? I might have to do some editing on that to make it look right. I think I'm going to color this in too, but with that color. This is sort of her hands are middle ways between. I was coding something with a friend, and then I looked at the code and saw a comment saying, don't try to optimize this, you will fail. I have been working on this for hours and struggling in pain. Don't waste your time on this. Yeah. I'm reminded of that Todd Howard Skyrim meme of, it just works. It's like, no, it doesn't, actually. It doesn't actually work. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna regret this immediately. I can feel it. Actually, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like 1, 2, 3. I guess this is the highest level of bounce in the original. We're gonna go with that though. Fill these in, because I like having consistency here. Put that like so. Also, did you know the files of TF2, there's an image of a lemon? And if you, yes, I've heard that. I've heard about the lemon. There's an image of a lemon, and if you remove that image, the game fails to load. What kind of effing developer made the game rely on a freaking lemon? Yeah. No idea. That is funny, though. It's like, it needs to be there. I mean, I have to imagine that there's some reason. Like, the image must have some kind of metadata embedded in it. But it really does give the impression of this thing is being held together with duct tape and prayers. I fill that in like so, just because. So we might pull this down since that arm is supposed to be forward anyway. So let's just do that. Color that in. And then we will here use this to color in underneath the hair. At least for a second. Okay, yeah. We'll do this here. Something else I'll want to do is reference the animation that I've got going on over here once I actually get started on doing the sleeves, because I want it to bounce to either side as it does up there. Also, I gotta go, but before that, you can remove any other sprite and the game still works, but the lemon. Not only that, the sprite is never used in the game. Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh man, it's kind of like one of those things. I feel like that's like a more modern, even though TF2 is kind of super old now. And thank you for coming and stopping by the way, Third Active. Always good to see you. But like in ancient games, like what is it, Adventure? I think it was called. It's basically your character model is a single pixel, and all the dragons look like ducks. But like, there's this entire room. Imagine if the lemon is piracy protection. I mean, that would definitely be the reason it exists today. I doubt that's why they put it in originally, but that would be funny. But like in Adventure, there's one room that you kind of have to walk through a wall. Like, you have to know that it's there, basically, and or walk against every single wall in the game to find it. But you walk through this wall, and it's this pixel-edited room that just says, "Hi, my name is," whatever the guy's name was. He was just a developer on the game, and I made this, and this is my secret room, basically. And it's like, this takes up, like, I don't know, a whole percentage of the game's file size, because it's an entire room that you can go in, and the game is not very large. But somebody took the time to put that in there. That makes sense if the game costs money, but it's free. Yeah. I mean, it could be like a, I don't know, anti-hacking kind of thing, where it's like, if you try to hack the game and don't account for this one variable, that why would you account for it? It'll cause problems. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not a coder. I just put pixels on a screen. Use that one. Right here, and then right there. For now. Okay, so we're gonna put this here. Gotta account for the fact that she's got a tail in the way. But besides that, this should work fine. Okay, so I put this one basically right here. It's the side of her body. we will end that there. Yeah, so this is basically going to be her arm. Ooh, I guess, though, it should probably swing out a bit. Is this the first sprite? No, there's one more before this. So I might want to cut this in so that it does look like it's swooping. Probably will do that. You know what? How about this? Yeah, we're gonna go with that for now. And then we'll darken this in. Yeah, that's probably fine. So for this, I think I want to have... No, I do want to fill that in that way. So this hand is swung back, right? So let's fill this all in with this light color for a second. And the brightest piece will be like right here where the top of her hand would be pressing through the fabric. I guess one option would be to make it actually show her hand. Because it's this hand back here, but and then from this perspective it's covered up. You know, if it was like directly behind her, it'd be covered up here. Also, I'm realizing... Oh, I was about to say, I think I have missing a pixel here. But I'm not sure that that's true. Is that pixel really missing? It's supposed to be like the edge of her leg. I'm gonna leave it. It's probably fine. Although that said... Did I fix that over here already? Negative. It is still the same. This is gonna bug me. If it should be any kind of way, that should probably be filled in that way, right? It should either not be filled in at all, or it should be like that. I don't know. And also that. You know what? It looks fine. I'm gonna stop messing with it. I don't need to fix it. It looks okay. So I guess if that's that, I can have that be that way. Maybe put that down there. Yeah, something like that. I might actually want this to swoop around behind. And then in this image, or rather this one here, it'll be like pressing forward because she's in the middle of walking. I think that'd be a good idea, actually. So, like, if this is her sleeve, I'm gonna grab the edge here. If I was to follow this same outline of this, basically her sleeve would come down and swoop over. Something like this, I think. Yeah. We'll try that at least. Because her hand will be moving forward. Probably will want to actually sort of slightly show her hand. Maybe. Maybe. Of course, if that's that way, that would be more like this. Yeah. I'll probably just fill that in. We'll make that work. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. So it's going to go from the slightly swooped out this way to, in this frame, it'll swoop exactly back the other way, like here. So I guess I need to not do that. I need to not overdo that, I guess. Okay, so this is her outline of her arm. Interesting. Did I move that? I moved that way too far up. Should probably be down here. Probably. Okay, yeah. So yeah, since especially this is supposed to be her back leg, I think. Nope, it's the other one. This leg is definitely supposed to be more forward. So probably I ought to leave this here at this level and move this one up. a step. At least I think so. Might be better served if I were to actually just make this color change as she walks, rather than actually trying to move this in any meaningful way. That is that same color. There we go. Just gonna go ahead and outline the foot now. See how they did it. Which means that this is gonna be her leg, since this is flowing backwards. Don't need any of this, basically. Can fill all this in as I feel it is appropriate. Maybe this is better. Actually, I don't know about this specific line here. Let's undo that. Just fill that in. Yeah, that's probably okay. Maybe this? We will shake that out in a second. Okay, so we got the edges of the leg here, and I realized that I've done this all in the wrong color. Oh, that should be that way. And again, I might need to move this over some. You can flow out and around. But alright, so we will fill this in thusly. Hey, welcome back. Thought you were gone forever. You had abandoned me. Which, you know, fair enough. In that case. Wait a minute. No. Okay, no, that is that one. That is tail. I gotta remember, that's tail. Okay, and I do think that the white basically is fine. who are not exactly the same color. Let's see, what did I use here? Whatever that is. I'm gonna leave that alone the way that that is. I think that, and then here. And there. Cool. Yeah, that should work. Let's do that. I think that gets the point across. Currently eating the straw of the berries. Sounds like the worst part of the berry. I mean, if it was that good, they'd come packaged with them, right? Oh, what is it? Was it cherries? I think you can actually... How did I get here? How did I get to this color? Cherries, you can actually get like a special straw / spoon thing. Okay, how does that... I don't like this very much. But the rest of it I think is working okay. Maybe if I were to bring this in some more. Definitely gonna have to be something I play with for a bit. Also, I kind of feel like with the way she's supposed to be walking, her shoulder is not far enough forward. Like, this is where her shoulder is the furthest forward. But I feel like... I don't know. Feels off somehow. Once I actually start putting this in the animation of movement, I'll make things go a little bit smoother, I think. Because again, I started doing all these, I made them thusly, and then I put it into a motion, and it didn't work, so I had to edit it. Like, one thing I had to do was make the actual sprites move. Not be completely level with one another. Like, they've got to shift up and down every time. Either way, I think that's a good time for me to take a break. I did not get a message to do so, but but I should. I should take a break, step back, and do some stretches. We'll be right back. Well, I done goofed. Went to hide something. I had to unhide everything. On my... So for some odd reason, whenever I put in a GIF, it tells me that I have an audio source for it. Which is completely unnecessary. That's probably because I'm putting it in incorrectly. We'll figure that out later. Anyway. So yeah, this is like foot is lifted, forward, down. Which means this foot is all the way back. So I might want to up the shine here. Possibly. Like make this color. We'll see though. Not sure about that yet. So let's take this, move this over to here, I suppose. We're gonna do the opposite of what we did on the other side, and we're gonna lengthen this down. Just like a step, I think. Let's go ahead and fill in all of this. I say fill in, erase all of this. Interesting. There's actually a whole lot of colored in bit here. Underneath where her hair would be. Maybe that's what I ought to do here too. Not sure about that. That'll take some fiddling, I think. Some fiddling with. We can play around with that though. In any case, her arm. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab this. Filling all of this in. Meow. Cat's back here yelling at me. Whatever it was, Teague, I didn't do it. It's not my fault. Can't prove anything. At least, there's no record of it. I am going to go with this one here. Bring this back up there. Is it the same color? It is. No, I do think I need to bring all this up. At least that and this. Which means I can use this here. I do believe. I believe. Love is the answer. And I believe. Love will find a way. Okay, so we fill this in up to about here. This is this leg back. So really, this should be filled in with this at some point. Like so, we'll put that like that. Maybe that. Built should be all the way up here, huh? Just gonna go ahead and fill in all these colors. I'm not gonna show her hand at all. Time for hand stretches. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back from this and look at it while I do some hand stretches for a minute. I'm not, just given the shape of everything, I'm not certain how the hand movement forward is really going to track. Do a lot of flat color in here. Oh yeah, that's another thing I just noticed. I feel like her head's too high. Maybe I need to move something down. Because this is supposed to be like the low point of her step. So the top of her head should be lower than it is on the other sprites. The thing about animation I'm really starting to figure out, there's a couple things I noted about this. One is that you're not going to know how it looks. Like, the individual frames will not look good. Or you won't know if they're going to look good until you put them all together. And, you know, you see them moving. But then, beyond that, there's the added benefit of I was noting this the other day, like, when you're talking about things moving, the way that things change from image to image is important, but the things that don't move, the things that don't change from one image to the next, are just as important. So, like, when I was working on this animation, like, going from this sprite to this one to that one, the fact that you go from here, like, when this motion happens. Also, why is that color? That should be a different color. When this motion happens, the step from here to here, even though it's only one frame, like, if I look at it slowly, it looks like nothing happens. This looks really weird, right? But when it's in motion, the fact that everything else stays the same, and then only the sleeve and robe and hair move, it gives it this extra little bounce that it wouldn't have otherwise. So again, the things that stay in the same spot are kind of just as important as the things that actually end up moving. I'm sitting here clicking on stuff instead of doing my stretches like I'm supposed to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, I'm gonna get back to the other thing. Okay, so let's do this. Watch out. Okay, okay. What is that? Gonna fill this all in thusly. Okay, yeah. I don't know about this. I do not know why this is the way that this is. So this should be going the other direction. I'm now just realizing. Maybe that's a bit much. Yeah, we'll just go up to that. I think that'll get the point across. Okay, we're gonna go with that for now anyway. Okay, so time to take this and do the simple version of making it animate. So let's do... just make that the front. The background. Alright. Turn this off. Oh yeah, her head needs to come down. Probably about right here? Maybe one lower than that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Copy that. One, two, three for now. Copy that. 2. Huh. I guess I just lengthened this to be the exact same. Did I do that edit and it ended up being exactly the same way it was? Oops. Oh yeah, I just noticed another thing too. This needs to be this way here. But that's an easy fix. Okay, let's look at the original again. It's up and then both are supposed to come together. Just for the sake of ease, for a moment. Alright, so the legs work. The leg animation works. The hair looks silly. Oh, I guess. It's supposed to be down one with it. I'm just crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna make it an extra step down. Yeah, the hair needs work, and the sleeves aren't working, but everything else looks basically correct. Could probably just use the silhouette from the others to make it look right. So let's see how easy I can make this on myself. I grab all of this. Like if I'm just grabbing just the bits that are the hair. If I flip that horizontally. Move it over one. Yep, that's what I would do. It does look like her head's a little bit too far to the left here. I'm just now noticing. Ah, I just noticed that too. When did that happen? There's a definite shift up and to the right. feet, I think, are in the right spot. That must just be her head. Yeah, I mean, besides the hair bouncing kind of funny, I think that does kind of work. So let's move this up one. Up one. Yeah, that's more appropriate, I think. Not too much bounce and just the walk cycle. But yeah, the hair needs a lot of work. It's just not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing. And going from... Let's see, let's go here. Looking at this arm here. Going from that to that doesn't work. So I do think this needs to be basically just straight down. Maybe this is a little bit less exaggerated. Let's take a look at this. So here, this arm's forward, it's swooped out. So for this one, this arm is forward, this should be swooped out. So I think what we can do I just realized my goof. This is backwards. Her head is backwards on this particular one. Because her horn is on the wrong side. That's part of the problem. Because the longer horn is on the left side of her head. Or it's supposed to be. Big yikes. Big yikes. Gray, can you get your own character correct? Okay, we're fixing minor stuff now. You. You are the one. You are the one that is wrong. How did I do this? How did this happen? How did I get here? There we go. There we go. That's... Nope, something's still wrong. It's that one. As a real smart cookie, what I would have done is just changed one of these for each level instead of trying to edit everything. Basically, these first 3 frames should have been the only ones I edited. But no, I have to edit all of them. Yep, no, that doesn't look good. Again, from like the neck down, it looks fine, I think. Okay, I'll take it back. From the waist down, it looks decent. The one thing that's throwing me off here is that this shifts too much. I think the belt needs to basically be in the same spot the whole time. Again, the longhorn is on her left. Which means that actually all of these sprites should be this way. And therefore over here. Same with this one, I guess. Ah, man. And the flipping sprites thing, or the flipping your artwork thing, is totally a real phenomenon. I'm feeling it right now, actually. I'm looking at this and I'm like, ah, yeah, why does that look strange? That her head is the way that that is. I do not understand. Alright, I know what I want to do. Since this is her idle animation, I want to take this and flip it. And use this as a silhouette. So, what we'll do then is just take all of this color. wanted it to not be contiguous, actually. But I made this go a whole lot faster. Cool, now we have a silhouette to work with. Actually, let's do this. We give this bright outline. Then we're going to put this on the other layer. That way. Can move it over here. I'm also going to have it over here for reference sake. Alright. So I want to mess with this. It doesn't have to be exact, but I kind of want to see what it looks like when it is. Okay, I put that one there because I wanted to show a little bit more of the hair being all floopy. So that's how that is. I may leave this one here. Just for the sake of... This is a different side of the hair. Yeah, and even this long bit here, which is this on this side, goes behind the head, or behind the arm. So could conceivably come down further, but I do not want her hair to be too long. Alright, so this is how this should look. This is how her hair should be, at least on this side. Still here. You are welcome to hang out and lurk. Don't, I appreciate your presence, and I appreciate you piping up and letting me know, but I don't want you to feel like you have to. You are more than welcome to just hang out and vibe with me while I agonize over minor details. Just programming while watching the stream. Oh, cool. As long as you're getting some use out of it. Actually, I think I like that the way that that is a little better. Maybe that. This long line of pixel bugs me. I think I like that a little better. Okay, so now that we've done this, time to try and make this work over here somehow. Basically, what I'll want to do is delete all of these and replace them. I made the rope physics somewhat work. They lag the game way too much, so I need to optimize the code. Yeah, go figure, programming physics into a game is resource intensive. Right, we're just deleting all of that. Goes from 209 to 29. Well, you know, at least there's some kind of frame of reference between the two. You need to optimize it a lot. Yeah. That sounds...
Excuse me. Ugh.
That sounds pretty rough. Still thinking of a name. Circuit Breaker. I don't know. I could probably make bad puns at you until something sticks. That's I'm good for that at least. Okay, so that's all the same. That's darkened down, but for good reason. I want to edit this one. I think I'm just gonna go with the darker color here. Rather than try to shade it with the hair dark color. It doesn't look quite right when I do that. At least it feels like it doesn't. Imagine a pun as a video game name. Can you possibly imagine? Crazier things have happened in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, no. Okay, so this needs a lot of work. All of this needs a lot of work. But, no, this one. That should be okay. Maybe I'll color that in the sleeve. I don't... What am I even doing right here? What is this? Why is this way? And that one too, for that matter. I was thinking like shoulder out and then back in. Oh wait, no, that's right, because I replaced it all. I replaced all like the head and everything up here. So everything above this line is completely new and different. Well, that's just prime. Okay, yeah. Still gonna take some work, but we're on the right track, I think. This sleeve needs to change. We already determined that from the animation test. I probably ought not drop this down like it is. I do have this, I think. But, like, this needs to be... This needs to be dark. Okay, so let's take this. I'm going to move these over here. Just so that I can reference the bits that are above them. Alright, so for this sleeve here, does not need to do all this nonsense. let's reduce that down to that, which I think is correct. Maybe not. Maybe... All right, so this first one that I... wait a second. Yeah, this one is left hand forward as much as it's gonna go. Right? No, that's actually the middle ground. The one all the way to the right. Yeah, these don't actually go here anymore. I have edited them. Okay, so in that case, this one, the one all the way to the left, is right hand forward as far as it's going. Which is strange, because that's not how that's laid out. It means that this is actually this way. This is the ones that it's actually relevant to. Oh, no. Incorrect. Is it that one? I'm confusing myself now. Okay, so... have I completely thrown myself off here? Okay, so to look at the reference here, this one is right hand all the way forward, which is the same as this. This is sort of... and this is hand all the way back. I'm a dummy. The one where the hand is all the way forward and the one where the hand is all the way back is going to be the same image. Obviously. Because that's how hands work. That's how walking works. Sitting here thinking that they're two separate images. But either way, the third image is the farthest split. So that should be this one. Which would mean this is correct. I think. Do you ever just hate logic? I hate it when I get to something that is obviously a logical conclusion, but it wasn't obvious to me at first, and it took me a second to get there. Like, yes, I went through this long, drawn-out process, and then, well, yeah, obviously that's where you would end up. Why would you not end up there? That's just what makes sense. Hand all the way back, and all the way forward. So this one should swoop out. Alright, let's try and make this work. It doesn't have to go down quite as far as it does up here, but it should still come down. Okay. Why am I not? Why can I not? I think that's similarly long. Cut that out. Yeah, that's probably okay. So this hand is swinging back. And where the hand is, it's like a step down. And then it's behind the leg. So really, this should probably just be like coming straight down rather than over as far as it is. Okay, yeah. I think that's gonna do the trick. I'll stop working on the rope code for a while and stretch and switch to sprites. Had enough of physics for today. Yeah, so there's a part of me that's like, technically what I'm doing, I'm not coding, but what I'm doing is actually physics related because I'm sitting here trying to... I see a problem. Well, it's kind of a problem. Anyway, I'm doing physics. I'm doing clothing physics. Also, I realized the hand is way too low. No, it would be lower. It would be lower because it's closer to the screen and when it's not perfectly straight on. That's fine, right? It's probably still too low by like a step. Something like this, I think. Nope, nope, no sir, don't like it. I'm gonna go with that, actually, I think. Maybe pull this up one more step, even. Just grab all of this nonsense. Bloop. Okay. Ah, I see. This should perhaps be that way. Maybe? Typically, I would have this be all the way out there. We're kind of in the middle transition between the two steps. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, cool. I think this is doing what I want it to do. Yeah, I'm not going to show her hands at any point, I guess. Okay, so that one matches up. Mostly. Mostly. Guess I can shine this up a little bit. Nope, gonna leave that that way. Cool. That should do the trick there. This ankle's a little weird. Why is that that way? Ah, she's wearing a boot. I think what I want to do is bring this up like this. Yeah, we're going to do that. We'll see how that goes. See how that looks. We can edit that around a little bit. Nope, I like that. I'm going to go with that. Cool. So there's that. I think this sprite is mostly okay. Yeah, this foot is back. It's the left foot. The right side hand is also back. Gotta remember how walking works. Opposite sides. Okay, so now for this. This hand is farther back than this hand. I feel like the whole body should shift to the left. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces from the leg here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the leg's farther forward here. So that should be a good amount of distance. Actually kind of inclined to fill this in here too. Yeah, we'll leave that. Leave that alone. Ho-hum. So I'm thinking about this from a perspective look, right? So the reason why her hands go all the way as far out as they do is because they are closer to the camera than the rest of her body, closer to the viewer, I should say. And then this one shifts away from the edge because it's going further back and then even further. But when you're looking at it from the backside, it's exactly the opposite problem, or the opposite situation. In this case, the hand that is farthest back should be further out, I think, to sort of demonstrate the idea that it is away from the body. Or not away from the body. It demonstrates the fact that it is closer to the viewer. So I'm going to see if I can make that work. Bring it down. Hmm. That's probably better. Not quite so much shine on it. Right. Okay, cool. So again, because of all that though, this wouldn't be out as far as it is. It would be further in. Dare I try to make that look good? I think the answer is to sort of mitigate the amount that it flows outward. Probably by going this way with it. And maybe moving the whole thing up. Oh no, it's already well above where it would be otherwise. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna bring this up even further. There, I think that's kind of close to what I want it to look like. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay. So now I still need to edit the hair. To bounce up and down like it does in the OG. Probably edit the shape of everything too, because it's gotta, like, instead of just making this longer, as it comes down, or if this is the base state, as it goes up, I suppose. As she stands up, her hair will have some gravity to it and it'll fall down. I do that a little bit. You can't tell because they're all level here, but like with the actual walking animation, the hair is moving at the very least. And it'll be way more apparent and important on the back end. Yeah, and I'm gonna be mindful of not spending the rest of the day working on this one thing to the exclusion of getting up, moving around, and stretching my hand out. I do really like how this turned out. And I'm liking where this is going. I feel like I'm learning a lot. And now that I'm looking at this, I feel like one thing I should probably do is instead of putting the shine where her hand would go, the shine or the bright spot needs to be where her elbow would be. That would be more reasonable, I think. Because her elbow is back here somewhere, not over here. So let's try this. Let's put this here. That kind of works. How about this? Hmm. Yeah, I think that does look better. Or something like it. Thanks, Doug. Hey, Dave. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Looks really good. Yeah, it's a work in progress for sure. I'm liking how it's coming along. I originally had this shined up like it was her hand, and now that I'm looking at it, I could bring this even brighter if I so chose. Might not be the worst idea. But yeah, if her elbow is actually the part that's furthest back, that would probably be better. Doing limited palette or unlimited. Technically, I'm limiting myself. But only because that's just the palette this character's got so far. I'm not using a specific palette, but basically I'm using, what's this, like 6 colors for the skin tone, 4 or 5 for the hair, and then 5 or 6 for the robe, plus highlights. So I'm trying not to use too many colors. And I'm not, as far as, if I think unlimited palette, I'm thinking along the lines of, I'm gonna shade this and make my own colors, and I'll have like 12 different colors for one gradient. I'm trying not to do that. I do that too much, and I think it looks better when I don't. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to, it's kind of how I'm trying to do that. 6 is still a lot. Looks good though. Yeah, eventually I'll get to the point where I can do fewer and make it look okay. But like, so here's, just to take a look at this real quick. I'm using an outline color that is relevant to the colors that are next to it. So for example, for the robe, she's got this darker kind of color, this darker gray. But then for the skin tone and for the hair, it's this dark red. So I don't know if I technically would count that as one of the colors, but if I do, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors for the robe. And then the skin tone, I'm using white here, but then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 for the outline. So technically it's only 5, and I guess 4 plus white for the skin. So it's not too crazy. I feel like the robe needs the extra space because there's so much of it. Or needs the extra color. "32 pixels high" is rough too. Yeah, it's taken me quite a bit to get here. To be fair, I'm going off of a reference. It's not visible right now, but I'm using Chrono Trigger character models as a reference because I'm trying to figure out how to make this kind of animation style look good. And the robe adds motion. Thank you. It's, so originally I drew this one this way, where the robe was just kind of hanging down. But then when I animated it, it didn't look great. So I decided to go back and put in some flow. But obviously, I didn't do this static. I didn't just look at these images and then figure, hey, I should go make it move. I took all these sprites and put them into a loop. This one, actually. But, and as I looked at it, I'm like, this doesn't look good. So I added the characteristic of her robe flowing as she takes a step. And I think it works. I feel like the hair is good enough, but I could do better. Time for hand stretches. I could do better with making the hair bounce and flow, but I think it gets the point across, especially since it's only 6 frames. But yeah, just figuring out how to make the, like, on what frame should her sleeves be moving in what direction. It took a lot of trial and error. And you're right, 32 pixels high is quite a bit of a difference, especially since I started, like, this one's like, what, 16 plus maybe half again. It's like a full square, maybe, what, 20, 22 pixels high. Have you seen The Principles of Animation? It's fantastic. I haven't. Is it like a movie slash film? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and throw the link down. But yeah, I'm basically animating stuff kind of on the idea of, or I'm using what I know of, like Looney Tunes style animation. I've heard people talk about those where they have, you know, smear frames, and like even with this, like, where is one? Gee, there. I put this between these 2 frames here, just so that I could have kind of a smear to get the impression down, which, you know, when played full speed, it's only on for a frame, so you don't really see it, but it does give that sense of motion. Let's see here. Get to my screen where I can click on things. Pose to pose. That's... Okay, yeah, that was 24 minutes. I'll probably watch this later. And like the thing that just from what I was watching, the little bit of that video, so something about pixel art I was talking about earlier is the fact that it's real easy for me to make sure that my sprite stays the same size. I can count it, and I'm not like doing any kind of perspective shift. But like with this, the part that I'm least happy with this full animation is right after this. I just go straight into the jump, and she ends up back where she started. I wanted her to end up where she started. I didn't want to end with this jump, but I had been working for so many hours. I'm just like, I'm gonna make her go back. I would love to do a more full, like, she's doing this whole dance motion all the way back to where she starts, so that it's a full easy loop and you don't have this obvious start-stop spot. Like, I do think the coming down and then stepping out into the first movement works pretty well, but yeah. But anyway, this part was pretty easy, mostly because I had a reference to follow, and I wasn't really trying to do a specific kind of animation. Like, I'm not a professional artist. I'm learning this stuff as I go, and so with this kind of sprite, I don't remember if you were here when I was working on this or not, but I copied. I didn't copy. I used as a reference the Final Fantasy IV sprites. So I haven't quite developed my own sprite style yet. I'm sort of Actually, no. Not Terra. Yeah, Rydia. Yeah, I was using her as a basic reference. So I'm like, I'm doing the pixel art equivalent of tracing over somebody else's work, and then putting different clothes on it. So it's fun, and I'm learning a lot of things, and I'm putting my own spin on what I'm doing. But I haven't developed my own process yet. There's a lot of like that video probably talks about a lot of stuff that I'm not super familiar with just yet. So even with this, I'm using Chrono Trigger character as a reference for getting the animation down. But I think I'm learning some stuff like, I don't know. One thing I figured out, like I was talking about earlier, is like this is the outline, or this is basically the same as the outline all through all this, but it's also used as part of the shadow. The fact that the hands here on this frame here, go all the way to the edge basically of the thing and are really big, which is relevant because these are closer to the camera or closer to the viewer. Whereas here, because of the angle that she's walking, basically they're further away, so they're smaller. And also closer in this one's case. So I am trying to learn some things as I go while making something that I'm going to enjoy. The thing that I'm not super looking forward to with this particular sprite is the fact that, like, if I want to do the same kind of thing, I was talking about the hair moving. In this sprite, you can see, obviously, her hair is bouncing up and down pretty dramatically from each frame to frame. I want to do that, but I want to make it look good. Like, you can tell it's kind of like super curly, and then it uncurls, and then it's at full curl or full open here. And then I guess if you're going the other way, it would be as she's taking a step forward, it coils up into its fully curled state. And then when her foot comes down on this frame, it pops down, so it's extending real fast. Want to see my first and newest attempt? It's hilarious. Oh, so I was actually talking to a friend of mine about doing art for my main character in my game. Yeah, so funny you bring that up. I was talking to a friend of mine about, he's doing like a drawing every day challenge because he's wanting to learn how. But yeah, the very first sprite I ever drew, the very first pixel art I ever did, when I first started trying to figure out how to make stuff, was this one. This is literally the first thing I ever made in this program. Like, I've done some art before, but it's not great. Let's see. Okay, yeah. No, I don't. That's not that bad. Especially like you've got with the one on the right, you've got some perspective. Like you can tell that she's standing at an angle, as in like her back foot is further away from the viewer than the front foot. Unless you're talking about from left to right. I feel like now that I'm picking that up. Okay, yeah. Even still though, it looks like you got the mirror tool kind of going. But like with the what do you call it? I can't think of the word. Hoodie she's got tied around her waist. Like I can tell that that's what it is. I mean, it's either like a hoodie or a sash. Could be either way. But no, I feel you. On the progress you can make. I do like how you've got the hair even in the first one though, and it's just basically an extension of that into the second one. Like she got a slightly different hairstyle between the two, obviously, but the inclusion of extra color shades, color gradient, makes quite a bit of difference. But yeah, it's always fun to look back over your own work and see how far you've come. That's one of the reasons why I saved this little guy. I keep him around. I feel like I should take him and animate him. Like, don't change any colors. Don't change any of his design. Just like animate him hopping up and down and closing his mouth or something. I think it would be fun. But yeah, so like from that, I guess, to go from that to actually my current avatar is a relic of the past. I need to update and upgrade. You should float near your robed avatar like a familiar. Yikes. I mean, that's not a bad idea by any stretch, but I'm like, I don't know if I want him for that. Besides, I already have a familiar. And per the rules, you can only have one. The bat floating at the top of my chat screen is my familiar. That's Nox. He's literally just hanging out. Yeah, I probably need to do a redo of him. Like, I made a long animation for him, and I'm pretty happy with him, but I kind of want to redo the colors. Like, I think he looks fine, but I kind of want to go back and change the colors out, because he's technically supposed to be a black bat, so, or a really dark brown anyway, but he's super bright. Super saturated. And I think I've learned a few things that could make it work a little better. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of good practice in figuring all this stuff out. I'm actually considering trying to take some classes for animation and digital art, partly because I want a good reason to get a decent tablet to do non-pixel art stuff with, because I'd like to be able to do that, but at the same time, I do love me some pixel art, and I think there's a lot of value to it as a medium. I'm a mouse guy. Yeah, same. I make all of my art with my mouse, and part of the reason is because it's comfortable and it's easy, and I know how a mouse works. But part of it too is that the tablet I have access to is pretty tiny. Like, I've seen some really, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take a step out of the canvas for a second. Did that not play the sound? It didn't play the sound, and I don't know why. Oh well. But yeah, I kind of want to take a, or I've seen, trying to remember what I was talking about. I've seen people, like highly professional artists who, you know, do this for a living, and they make art and, you know, money off of it. They've got those really nice, I heard a whoosh. Oh, okay, good. I did not hear the whoosh. I did not see the audio levels for the whoosh, so thought maybe it didn't happen. But anyway, sorry. I've seen some professional artists have these gigantic, like, computer monitor-sized screens that, well, it's basically their monitor, and they can just draw directly on it. That is kind of the dream as far as trying to draw something digitally. Like, drawing on a tablet that isn't actually a screen, it can work, and you can get really good at it, but it's not, I think it's not the ideal. And so, if I could, you know, go to school, maybe get a scholarship or something, I could maybe afford something, maybe not huge, but something like that would be kind of nice. My daughter has a 16-inch one. I think it's a Wacom. Yeah, my ex-wife got it for way too much for me. Yeah, the one I've got is a Wacom too, but it's like 6x8, I think. But yeah, 16-inch. That sounds a lot more reasonable. I would want one that's like at least the size of a sheet of notebook paper. But like, does the one that she has display on itself? Because I know Wacom does have those. It'll actually, it'll display what you're drawing on the tablet itself. Whereas the one I have is just like it's a flat black touch pad, basically. Yeah, it's a screen. Yeah, so that makes, that there's a disconnect for sure between, where you put your hands or where you're putting your pen and where the actual animation is happening. Huion. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those, which is not to say very much because I'm not that familiar with the large variety of animation brand or tablet brands that there are. I kind of would assume that any kind of big major manufacturer of technology makes one. Like, I bet there's a Samsung one. I bet there's an Apple one or something equivalent that'll work for that purpose. I mean, heck, you could probably do it with an iPad. But anyway, I think all of the companies that make the really good ones that people actually, like professionals would want to use are companies like these that, if you're not an artist or not into following people who do art digitally, then you may have not heard of them. Like Wacom and even Huion, which again I had not heard of, or if I have, it didn't click and register with me. But anyway, yeah, it's a big help to be able to draw, like put the pen down and then have the line appear there where the pen is. I know that when I first ever played with a tablet way years ago, there was this disconnect of if it's not exactly calibrated correctly, you put your pen down and then like ever so slightly to the right or left or whatever is where the line actually happens. So you pick up your pen and you try to put it back down to color on something, it doesn't work. I can't shade within the lines because I can't tell where my pen is going to be or where my actual line is going to be when I put it down. But yeah, it's cool that your daughter has a tablet and is interested in doing art. I myself was super into art like when I was back in high school. I was definitely wanting to be a professional artist. I didn't know what I wanted to do exactly, but my parents were supportive enough to send me to an art college for a semester, and due to various reasons, one of which being I figured out I didn't want to do art when I had to be told what to do. Like, it looked like my future was going to be, I don't know, designing cereal boxes or something. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun at all. I hate that idea, actually. So then I just kind of left it behind for a decade. But now I'm getting back into it, and I'm having fun. And hopefully, part of my process now, especially with like being on stream and putting art out into the world, is I want to make stuff that makes people happy. People see something and they like it, and if it gives them a smile, great. And one thing I'm noticing with that is like the little animations just tend to do that. The cute little stuff that moves around does a lot better, or it sends, at least for me with my skill level, I guess, it sends the message a lot clearer. One thing I would love to do that I haven't gotten around to yet is I would love to be able to make something huge, right? Like something really big that's just awesome. Something absolutely beautiful as a piece of art. But I don't know if I have the skill for that yet. Or the I mean, I have the time. But like I don't know if I have the necessary skills to make something of that size, I guess. You just need inspiration. I mean, so I've talked about having an idea of something I'd love to do. Like, I'll see if I have this up still. I don't. I have it on my other tab. Actually, I can add it. But I'd love to do something like, there's a scene in Chrono Trigger where the crew is hanging out around a campfire. Made some real life pixel art, turned out rad. Oh, like I know a lot of people who do or who like to do pixel art. They'll do the what is it, perler beads, I think, and then you use put them in place on this little pin board, and you use an iron and melt them all together. Those are usually pretty cool. I'll dig it up. But yeah, I'd love to do something like this. This is kind of a big thing. But like this scene where you got a bunch of different characters hanging out around a campfire. But like, you know, you got trees, the lighting is, if I recall correctly, this is animated in the game. So the fire is actually flickering and the trees are changing slight colors while stuff's going on. But like a scene like this, I would love to do something like this. And I don't even know. I guess this is probably like, it'd be the size of a Super Nintendo game screen. So what, like 240 by 420 or something like that? 280 maybe? But yeah. There's a lot of skills that I do not have or have not yet developed. I could, I guess, just copy this, but I don't want to do that. Hey, Myrid. Welcome to the stream. They're all working copies, I think like 38. Let me take a look. What? Oh, I see. It's Pac-Man, made out of Pac-Mans. Pac-Man cartridges. Is that for, what cartridge is that for? Is that the box or is that the actual cartridge? So I cannot tell. I cannot zoom in enough, apparently. Thank you. How are you? I'm doing pretty well, Myrid. I am trying to not overwork myself. After Friday's stream, I spent like 5 hours straight, not really, like, not getting up, not moving, and just working on an animation. One of which is below. But that was not good. Not good for my hand. So I'm trying to take a break and not overstress it. Good idea, don't overwork yourself. Yeah, like, I wasn't super tired and worn out or anything. I wanted to do it, I was having fun. But now my hand kind of is sore, so taking a little break. Chrono Trigger shadow boxes. Ooh, that's cool. And that's... what's a music box? Oh, with upgradable music box option. Yeah, that is kind of cool. See, this one is better. You print the pixel art onto foam and cut it. Yeah, I don't... So, there's one thing about that. I think that's the one I clicked on, actually. One thing about those is, like, I get people are super into that, and it's really cool, and I applaud the people for, you know, putting in the time and effort on it. I would feel really weird about selling something that has somebody else's art on it. I'm a lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Myrid. If you weren't aware, I have a lurk command. You can throw that down if you feel like it. But thanks for showing up and hanging out for a bit. But like, yeah, to me it would be it's this similar practice of taking somebody else's art and putting it on a t-shirt. It's more work involved. No joke. It's a cool idea, the shadow box. It's a cool idea, and you know, people are interested in that, and it's providing a service that the original creator of the thing is not doing. But personally, I feel like that would be, I don't know, it feels inappropriate, I guess, is the only way I can think to put it. Like, I would not want to take someone else's art and then sell merchandise with that art on it. Unless I had explicit permission from the artist to do so. And in this case, I don't know. There's a lot of talk one way and the other about, you know, giant corporation doesn't care about you, so don't worry about them. They make enough money, yada yada. But I don't know. I look at it the same as if it was a friend. You know, somebody, some human being made that artwork. Giant crazy corporation, Nintendo or Square or whoever it is, they own it, they own the rights to it. But at the same time, if I would not do this to somebody I actually know, I don't necessarily want to do it to somebody I don't know either, if that makes any sense. And like, I'm not gonna judge anybody for buying that kind of thing. It's pretty dope. You know, the whole shadow box thing. But I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I would not want to do that myself. Sorry, I kind of went on to a rant about that. It's cool. it is a cool thing. I would not mind doing something like that. And I know that fan art is totally a whole genre of itself. I guess what I'm saying, for me, if I was to do something like that, I would, and I wanted to make a diorama, I would want all of the art to be something I made myself. Right, like I would want to redo all the sprites in my own style, and then put them in a similar situation, like remake this scene, you know, but actually animate all the sprites myself, and then make a shadow box out of it, I guess. I've seen a lot of people doing like Elden Ring fan art and that stuff being on shirts. And I feel like that's of questionable legality, but at the same time, it is their own original artwork. It's just modeled on stuff that shows up in the game. So I feel like that's a lot more fair, I guess? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you can take it, and I don't necessarily... I wouldn't judge anybody for having a different opinion about this. Or not caring, one way or the other. I guess one of my perspectives is I want to cover my own backside. I don't want to give anybody with any multinational corporations with a lot of money any kind of ammunition to come after me for any reason. So that's part of my take on that front. It is cool though. Whew. All right. So like, yeah, talking about like going back to Chrono Trigger, I guess we never really left it. But like, I really do want to make this kind of scene, this whole campfire scene where everybody's hanging out, just sort of in a chill moment between crazy dimension hopping adventures or whatever. But like with my own characters and or with some characters that I've made that are based on, you know, either like based on other artists who are, you know, friendly to me, people who would be interested in participating. I wouldn't want to grab a character of somebody, you know, who didn't agree to it, but you know, doing something like this would be super cool. And I think that that's kind of the big project that I have in mind that I'm prepping for. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do animations because those are fun. And I think I was talking about this the other day, but like the whole idea of having, or of like being an artist, right? You spend a lot of time trying to make a thing, and you're just sort of beating your head against the wall, and it's like, this is so hard, and takes so long, and it's not even going to be worth it when I'm done. And like, why did I choose this as a lifestyle? Why do I do this to myself? Yada yada yada. And then like you get done with the thing, and it moves, and it dances or whatever, and then there's a part of your brain that just goes, ooh, hey, the little picture, it moves. Makes it all worth it. it do a move though. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. I need to get up, take a break, walk around. Don't wanna push the creation of the animation too much. I think next time I want to work on is something else, something not sprite related. I need to get off of this train. It's fun, but I'm basically doing the same thing over and over again. Or maybe just relegate it to a section of the stream. Maybe start with that and then go on to something else, something different and unique. Something that's not going to be the same thing every time you show up to the stream. Yeah, when your vision comes together, it's fantastic. Yeah, one of the fun parts for me is when you have this vision in mind, but then you get done with the thing, or you get close to being done, and you realize, ooh, wait a minute, this is not what I had in mind, but this is way cooler. Which fun story for me is the character that I've been trying to animate is a D&D character of mine that I played years ago. That was that in D&D form. I had an idea for a character. I rolled up all the stats and built the character and everything. Had an idea for how I wanted to play her, and then when I actually started playing the character, it was completely different. Like, she just had a personality of her own, which is way different than any character I'd played before. She was sort of, took on the character. I felt like the character told me, no, this is how I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to act. Which was super cool, and is one of my favorite characters to this day. But I never get to play her anymore. I'm kind of becoming forever DM. And or I don't know. I don't necessarily want to subject the people that I play with to that character, because she's kind of wild. I'm a very calm and collected person most of the time, especially with the characters I get to play. I'm like, most of the other people I play with, they want to be the wild and crazy ones, and so I'm like, alright, I have to balance that out. I have to be the collected one, the one who's going to be reliable when the chips are down, so that other people can do their craziness and have fun. So I don't want to be the crazy one, because then we'll all die. At least that's how it feels. I think in a recent game I was playing, I was talking about this. I was going to play a wild and crazy outlandish character, but then I ended up not doing that, and I'm glad I did, because I made an optimized character who can, do the damage and get things done, when the other characters, one of whom was almost a gingerbread person, and another character literally worships Jeff Goldblum as a deity. So that's what I have to contrast with. Anyway, I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you guys for coming out. Again, if you're not involved already, feel free to join the Discord. Come in, hang out, talk about RPGs, talk about pixel art, share your art with others. We got a small collection of artists and a few streamers involved. So we talk about various things that are related to that. Get some pointers and tips. It's a small community, kind of slow, but we're chill and friendly. Besides that, you can find my stuff on Twitter. If you think you have, you know people who would enjoy the stream, enjoy talking about pixel art, watching stuff happen, and learning along with me, then feel free to let them know. I'm trying to get up to, trying to fulfill all the requirements for Twitch affiliate. I'm really close. I'm hoping I can get there by probably the end of next month at the latest. And why it didn't pop up? Why do you do this? Why are you like this, Stream Elements? Why do you do this to me? Oh, it did pop up. It just didn't pop up on screen. Huh. Weird. Oh, it popped up above my thing. Yeah, well, whatever. Thank you all again for showing up and hanging out. I'm not going to be streaming on Wednesday. I normally would. I'm going to try and get my butt in gear and make some videos about some things. You have a good day too, Dave. Good luck on the things you're working on as well. Until I see you all next time, y'all stay safe out there.